a design of tent that I really love, and that is the tunnel design tent. But there's a certain type of tunnel design tent that I first got my eyes on when the Nordisk Telemark 1 came out. It was the rectangle ends on both sides of the actual tent that I really loved. I never pulled the trigger on that for the simple reason is the amount of reports that came back about the Telemark that it had very bad condensation issues. I still want to get that tent, but maybe that's for another video. There's another tent company that brought out the very same shape of tent, but then added a lot more features to it, and that is the Tarptent Scarp 1. But because I waited so long to get it, there's a new version out of it, which is the Tarptent Scarp 1 Ultra. So I got that with the Four Seasons inner. Let's go through it. We'll say about this bag, it's very, very thin on top. I wish it was wider. It's kind of an effort to get it in. Okay, so this is the outer. You can see the kind of material that the Ultra has. It's really cool. I'll go through that in a bit. These are the light, very lightweight poles. So I actually have the pegs in this bag because I actually can't find the other bag. I'm actually blown away by how light they are and how strong they are. These are Easton 9-inch pegs. Because I like these so much, but they're quite expensive, tracked down 3 FUL 9-inch pegs, and they're equally as light. Not sure the strength, but it's something that we'll look at in time. Let's start off with the first arch pole. So the outer poles are optional. I have got them because why not? Let's get the pole. I will say it's not the easiest pole to get into place. I don't want to push it too much because I actually don't want to damage or have it rip. It's not the quickest assembly in the world. We're nearly there. So once it's through, slip it in to this strap going over. And here we go. Not the easiest in the world, I must admit. It's in. You get 2 pegs and you do the strut line first. As you can see here, there's already poles in the corners. And then right in the middle here, you have a strut pole, which is here, already in place. And this is the one that you guy out first. Let's get the position. Okay, so you start with the strut line, and let's just do it on the other side. As mentioned, on the corners you have 2 V poles already installed. You'll also see a tiny sleeve here, but that sleeve is for the outer poles if you are assembling them. But for now, let's just put it in the way it is, and I'll put them on shortly. The last corner. You can see how wide the actual tent is. Let's put the outer poles on. These are optional and you can get 2 different sizes. This pole is 9mm and this is 7mm. Without these, the tent is still really, really solid. But for now, I have these, so let's put them on. Okay, so what you have up top here, this pole needs to go through it, and so does the other one. They crisscross through it. So come down here, put it into the sleeve. They are also adjustable through there and over onto this side. There you go. And do the very same with the second pole. Put it through here, into there. You also have Velcro in the corners, just to hold it in place. Down here, into the sleeve, Velcro on, and then just start putting your hooks on. Tighten them up to suit. And there you have it. I've added these guy lines. They're 2mm and both on 1 peg. Just adds that extra bit of stability. So here she is. So it's hard to put a cost and it's hard to put a weight on this tent. You can put one, but there's so many different weights and prices. Let me explain. So when you go onto their website, you have to add features. So you add the external poles. The external poles can be, I think it's 6 or 7mm versus a 9mm. The arch as well, you can change the arch pole from 9mm to whichever. If I got them wrong, I'll have it up on the screen there. But that is the very same as the outer, this is the Ultra, versus the inner, which is a Four Seasons versus mesh. You're not building the tent yourself, but you're picking the features to suit your background and to suit where you are. So I got the Ultra outer. I have the original Scarp 4 Seasons inner, and then I went with the lighter outer frame poles and then the thicker arch pole. So this for me, if I can remember, look, I'll put the price up there because I'm only going to be guessing now, but I think it was around the 500, 600 mark. But that price, you are getting an incredibly strong tent. So let's go through some of the features. So this tent comes in 2 colours. It doesn't come in 2 colours. It comes in 2 materials, and the material colour is different. So you can't get a choice of getting this tent in 2 different colours. So the original Scarp silk coated outer is a lot greener than this, and I'll be honest with you, I prefer it. This is a very bright tent. I prefer to go, not that I do a lot of stealth camping. I don't do stealth camping. I just camp in areas, but being honest, I prefer not to be seen. Because I hate people. No, it's not. I just don't want to be seen. And this will stand out like a sore thumb in some areas, just like it is right now. It is very good for photography and stuff like that. It'll feature and look really, really well. In saying that, on top of a mountain, there's a lot of white rocks and there's a lot of stuff like that. So you'll probably get away with it. But me, I prefer a darker colour. But that's down to the material that he uses. So let's go through it. It's an Ultra TNT material. You can really feel it's something different. But the one thing I will say, you have a lot of tents that are like 2000mm hydrostatic head, 5000mm hydrostatic head that the Hilleberg is. This material, this is 140,000mm hydrostatic head. Like, that's absolutely unbelievable. But that's down to the new TNT Ultra material that it is. But that's crazy. I've never seen this material before. It's something new, and it's yeah, it's pretty cool. So this is the 9mm Easton arch pole, as well as the Easton outer, lighter, smaller poles. I found this arch sleeve hard to get into, but the quality of the actual material itself is incredible. The arch sleeve is an Ultra 100X pack cloth, it's called. You can feel the quality of it. You'll see here, it's the AquaGuard YKK zips. There's to stop any water getting through them. So these are 2.5mm reflective cord. So as mentioned, the carbon poles on the outside. You can get them in 2 sizes, which is 9.3mm or 7mm. I bought the 7mm just to help with the weight. But in saying that, the tent is so well built anyway that these add-ons just help. If you didn't have them, the tent would be just as good. Here on the corners are the built-in, the rigid struts, they call them. So these are carbon fibre. On the inside and on all the way around, you have 2 on both sides and you have 1 in the middle here. Also on the outside here, you have this. This is a really good feature on both ends. So this can zip open. It has YKK AquaGuard waterproof zips. It has a reinforced tape here, as you can see. But when you pull this up, you have this bungee cord where you can lift up and tie onto there. So during the summer, it'd be perfect to open both sides of that so you can get a nice airflow. It's a good feature to have. So all corners have strengthening tape. You can see it here. So the arch pole on the outside, Velcro here, but you can see it's very well designed. You have the sleeve on the actual guy line for the corners. I really like that. It's like it's just balancing and it is adjustable. So here's a vent. You can get your hand in all right. It's not the best, being honest. It doesn't really stay up. If they had something, even a bit of fabric there to hold it up, would be good. But you have reinforced tape just to stop anything. Then you have your cross poles going into this fabric hook up top. This has 2 vestibules because there's 2 doors you can go in from either side. That's the one thing I do love about some tents. For the simple reason is, if you go out and it's raining, you can put all your wet gear in one and you can put all your dry stuff on the other side. I really like that. Okay, let's open it up and have a look on the inside. Okay, let's go in. That's one feature I love in tents. And it also has it in the Vango tents, I believe. So it is a clasp that holds these together. So you're not relying on the strength of the zip in really strong wind. So yeah, I really like that feature. I think it should be in a lot of tents. I've seen this on a few tents. And I don't know if I really like it or not. It uses magnets to hold the door open, but this has it as well. Good sometimes, doesn't always work though. I wish they just went back to basics and just make a little bungee here with a hook. It'd be a lot better. I don't think they're much good, being totally honest. For the same weight, you can get a really light plastic hook or something. with a bit of bungee. I don't know, maybe something to think about. Okay, let's have a look. You might think there's absolutely no vestibule there whatsoever, but you can move it back and you can move it forward. You can adjust the size you want. So the inner, you could very much have it fully over on one side to create a bigger vestibule on the other. Or you can pull it to its max and fill up the vestibule so you have more room on the inside. That's not leaving you have a very good vestibule, but if it's a dry day, you can have everything on the inside. But the fact that you can adjust it, that's a winner. So you can see by the Four Seasons inner, it's more than halfway up that you have the fabric, and then you have the mesh up here. And it's a bathtub design that's coming up around 100 to 120 millimeters. This is 70D ripstop, 4000 millimeter hydrostatic head, and it's a two-way zip on the door. And as you can see, I barely did anything there and this came off again. I really don't like that feature. Now you see here, see, that's a much better system. So that's the inner door. I wish they had that on the outside as well. So if you look at the inside of this tent, it's massive. And this is the one person. You'd fit two people comfortably in there. That's why I'm saying you can afford to lose some of the inner to get a bigger vestibule. But if you wanted to take up the two vestibules, you could happily fit two people in there. It has a nice hook there to do whatever you need to do. There's also another hook here on both sides. You have two mesh pockets. You have one here and you have one there. But the actual size of this tent, let's go with the length. So about that's 7'2". The width, as mentioned, is adjustable because you can change it to suit the vestibule, but it's at its max now. So let's just see what it is. So 4.3 foot in width. That's really big. And the one thing, as mentioned at the very start of this, I love the rectangle design of this kind of tunnel design tent, where you have a lot of space at the end. This is one feature I really like, is to have this space. You've nearly 1.5 foot of space there, 2.5 feet in width. I love that feature. The one thing I have noticed is there is a, right in the middle of the tent, you can really feel it as well, like a silicone taped seam right in the middle. I honestly don't know why they had to join it right in the center. That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it's not stopping me from doing anything. You can just really feel it. It's like a sticking point on it. But as mentioned, small vestibule, but can be adjusted all the way out to there. So if you look at this, now look at the size of the vestibule. You have another hook point here and another hook point there. You also have the ability on the outside here, put another guy line to hold it in place. So you have so many hook points all the way around this tent that you can keep on adding to it and keep reinforcing it for all types of weather. But the fact that the inner is so big, the beauty about that is you have two doors. So if the wind is coming this way, well then you can put the vestibule on the other side and vice versa. So if you wanted to cook or sit down in the morning to have your breakfast and the weather's really bad, if it's blasting from this side, you can just put the vestibule on this side. So I love having that choice, and you're not relying on setting your tent up hoping that the direction of the wind or the rain doesn't stop. You can simply in this just change it. Love that. So for me, this is coming in at around 1.8. That's with all the features that I have chosen to be on it. It's coming in at 1.8 kilograms. Again, not the lightest tent in the world, but what you're getting is unbelievable. So the Four Seasons inner that I'm actually using here is the same inner that's used in the original Scarp Ultra, and they say that this is the best one. So when I was doing research before I actually bought this tent, obviously you go on YouTube and you look at reviews and stuff like that. So the man who knows everything about the Scarps is Tom Heaney Adventures. It's a brilliant YouTube channel, so it's well worth looking at. But if even he has one of his videos where he has the Ultra versus the older one, I wouldn't say even versus, it's just that he loves them so much that he actually bought two of them. So he goes into some unbelievable details in his video, so I'll link it there. It's worth having a look. I'll put it in the description. But yeah, he really sold me on actually going to buy this tent. So yeah, Tom Heaney Adventures, well worth looking at. So as mentioned, this isn't the first time. What are you doing? Sorry, the dog is trying to play at my foot here. I've had this tent out already. I had a beautiful wintry snowy camp in the Cumra Mountains. I'll link that video there, but to say that the wind came in the night time is an understatement. Like, the wind really picked up, but I didn't realise how severe it was, because in other tents that I have, you really feel the wind because the tent would be moving side to side, or like any of the poles might be going out of place or anything like that. With this, I did feel that the wind was strong outside, but I didn't realise how strong it actually was until I got out. It was a brick. It just stayed there like an absolute fortress of a tent. It didn't move. To a point where I sat down and actually had my breakfast as well, but at no point did I feel unsafe with this tent. It just was not budging. And I was just luckily that because it was my first time having it out, the weather wasn't supposed to be as bad as it was, but I did bring the outer carbon poles, and I'm glad I did. Even though I think it would have held up anyway besides that, but I'm glad I brought them out just to test it. If I've missed any specs or any features or anything, I will put it in the description. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you'd buy? That's the Tarptent Scarp Ultra with the 4 seasons in her. Looking forward to getting it out again. This is Martin here from Soul Trail. Stay safe out there. We'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.